الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى.
في الرقاب والغارمين في سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. وقال تعالى في مقام آخر: خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها وصل عليهم إن صلاتك سكن لهم والله سميع عليم. We started a topic on Zakat. For the last 3 Jummahs we spoke on Zakat. First Jummah, what was ordered in the beginning to pay. Then the second Jummah is Targheeb. We encourage ourselves and the ahadith and the ayahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the ayahs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala book that encourages us to give zakat, and the benefits I explain in one Jummah. And the previous Jummah I explained that the tarheeb and the disadvantage of not paying zakat. As I promised last Jummah, today I like to explain some of the rule regulations. Normally we try to explain these rule regulations to individual. It's a bit easier than explaining all these rules, some of the rule regulations to a congregation. But unfortunately, we try not to learn the masails. So today I made my intention that try to explain the rule regulation in a broader way. So remember that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was alive, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Muaz ibn Jabal radiyallahu ta'ala anhu towards Yemen as a qadi, as a leader, as a judge, and also explained some rules to him as he was going. And in fact, in the last time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sending him, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him to mount on his right, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was walking on the floor with him, and he said to you, just stay on your right, and he had his hand in his hand and explained a few things to him. And at the end he said, it doesn't look like we'll meet next time and until Jannat inshallah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Hazrat Muaz ibn Jabal radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when you meet the kuffars, when you go where you go into kuffars, tell them to embrace Islam. Once they have embraced Islam, then tell them to read 5 times salat. Once they start doing that, then also tell them they have to give zakat. And this zakat has to be taken from the rich, given to the poor. So I've said this before too, that this hadith is also informing us that the zakat has to be given to the poor in such a manner the poverty finishes. If every single Muslim calculates the zakat properly, there will be no poverty in the Muslim world. But unfortunately, we're not doing that. So this is one hadith. In another hadith, alright, that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala came the leader, Khalifa, and various people denied Islam in various ways. And one of the things they denied is they did not want to pay zakat to the ruler. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala said, I'm going off to war with them. Even though if they were paying a small rope in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now they deny to pay to the Muslim governors. They have to come in war with us until they pay. Yeah? So these things are indicated that we have to pay zakat. How do we pay? Who is compulsory? I'm trying to make it as easy as I could. Number one, Zakat is farz on a Muslim. Zakat is not farz on the kafir. All these khitab, khudh min amwalim sadaqatan tutahhirum, all these khitabs are for Muslims. So number first condition is the person who has to pay zakat has to be a Muslim. Number two, a free, everyone's free nowadays. Number two, you can say a baligh, that person has to pay zakat who has reached to the age of puberty. If a person has not reached to the age of puberty young, they do not have to pay zakat. I mean, sometimes we buy gold or silver for our daughters or son, for our daughter-in-laws which are coming in the future. If we buy silver and gold for our daughters or son, or we have a bank account for them, a separate account. So this normally happens. So we have an account for them, or we have where they have their savings, or they have gold or silver. In reality, if they're the owner of the gold and silver, there's no zakat on it. We give them the money, we give them the what? Gold and silver. We do not consider that gold or silver or money our own. We consider them the owners of the gold and silver. So because they're under the age of puberty, there is zakat on them until they reach to bulughat. When they get baligh, when they get to the age of puberty, then we pay zakat on them. Yeah. So one of the condition is zakat is only compulsory when someone is baligh. Number two, number three, zakat is only compulsory once someone's got that nisab, quantum, the quantum of silver, the nisab of silver, the quantum of gold or the nisab of gold, or they got cash, alright, which is on the same value of the quantum of nisab of gold or silver, or they got merchandise tijarat, they got, and their tijarat and their business is, and when you calculate the goods, alright, they come to the value of what? Nisab. So I'm coming to that in a few seconds. What is the nisab? What is the not nisab? But before I come to that, the last condition is wahala alayya al-hawl. The 1 year has to circulate on the wealth. When the 1 year circulates, alright, then we have to give zakat on it. Alright, the 1 year, what is circulation? I will try to explain that today too, inshallah. So first, let's go to nisab. What is nisab? Nisab is a specific amount. When you have that specific amount, alright, then alright, the first condition kicks in, and then you have to give zakat on that. So in the olden days, alright, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to use dirham. So alright, and they used to use dinar. Now let's go to the gold one first. If you have 20 dinar, which is called misqal also, if you have 20 dinar or 20 misqal, then that is the what? That is the nisab of gold. Now why is 20 dinar? 20 dinar in ounces, alright, what we call tola, is about 7.5 tola. Yes? And then 1 dinar is about 4.355 grams. 4.355 grams. And that calculates to 87 gram, 0.48 gram, milligram. So, and 1 gram yesterday rate, in UK yesterday rate was 74 pound 79 pence. 1 gram yesterday rate was what? 74 pound 79. It's amazing how it's fluctuated. 40 years ago in 1985, 1 gram was 7 pound. 1 gram 40 years ago, 7 pound. Now, alright, is 74 pound 79 pence. If you calculate that and times 87.48 grams to 74 pound, or you times that to 87 grams, or it comes out to 6,542 pounds. So 7.5 tola, alright. The value of 7.5 tola, not yesterday value is, alright, 6,542 pounds. So if you have this, alright, zakat is compulsory on you. That's a bit higher nisab. What you have to understand is gold and silver, alright, at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and a long time, alright, they used to have the same kind of value. But now, last few years, alright, the value of gold has gone up and the value of silver has gone what? Down. So the value of silver, alright, you can say at that time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 200 dirham was the same value of what? 20 dinar, 20 mithqal. Now, if you have 200 dirham, or the value of that, which is 52.5 ounce, and it's 52 ke tole, 52.5 ounce, alright, and in 1 dirham, alright, is 3.061 gram. If you calculate that, alright, that will come, alright, to 612.36 grams. Now we have to find out how much is 1 gram. Yesterday, 1 gram was 82 pence. How much was it? 82 pence. I know this is a bit confusing, but these things we have to know. So 82 pence, alright, and when you times that, alright, when you times that by 612.36, alright, it comes to 502 pounds. How much? 502 pounds. So the easy way to say is, if we have 502 pounds or more, then we got the first condition, nisab. Now, either we have gold worth it that much, or either we have silver worth it that much, either we have cash, alright, which is more than 502 pounds, alright, then we got the nisab. That's the first condition. Once we have the nisab, alright, we have to pay zakat on it, but not straight away. The year have to circulate on it. It has to have an anniversary. Alright? After 1 year, if we still have the nisab or more than 1 nisab, we have to give zakat on whatever we have. Now, what do we mean by the year? We mean by a year, alright, circulation is that the year has to be lunar year, not a solar year. Islamic year, not a non-Islamic year. So, for instance, in first Ramadan, alright, first Ramadan, yeah, I got 600 pounds. Yeah, the first Ramadan I got first 600 pounds. Now I got the nisab in it, or I got merchandise, alright, for tijarat, which is worth about 600 pounds. Now, when I look in the next first of Ramadan, the next year first of Ramadan is, which is 247 next year. So I looked and I checked, alright, under the mattress I got 7,000 pounds. Yeah, how much I got? 7,000 pounds. Now I had the nisab in the beginning, and at the end I got more. So I pay zakat on the 600 pound or the 7,000 pound. 7,000 pound. I pay zakat on that. If it fluctuates in the middle, you know, in Ramadan I had 600 pound. In Shawwal, people give me Eid. I got 10,000 pound. Yeah. Then after Hajj, I got zero. No, not zero. Sorry, not zero. I got 1,000 pound. Yeah. Then slowly, alright, it goes up and down, up and down. Do I look at the up and down, or do I just look at the beginning and the end? Begin and the what? End. So that's what Islam has made very easy. Look at the beginning, how much nisab you have. At the end, you look at that. Yeah, that's all you have to do. No matter what happens up and down in the beginning, in the middle, as long as it doesn't go to zero. If it goes to zero, then you start the nisab again. Understand? This is how you calculate your zakat. Now, this is the nisab. This is a brief idea you can learn from here. This is a brief idea of nisab. Yeah. So this is what you have to use. 500 £2. Make it £500. If you have £500 or more than £500, you got the nisab. That's what you have to learn. Keep in your mind. Now, who could we pay zakat to? Which are it's the question? We have few questions. Number one question, that if we have qarz on us, dain on us, debt on us, do we have to pay zakat? If that debt, if that qarz, if that dain covers all our wealth, then no zakat on the condition that we don't have to pay monthly. For instance, I've got £5,000, but on the other side, I have to pay an individual £7,000 I borrowed from them. So it's no zakat on the £5,000. Yeah? The other way to explain is, I've got £10,000, but I owe someone £4,000. So I pay zakat on the £6,000, not on the £4,000, because I owe her. But there's another owing we have, debt is, which we pay monthly, which we call mortgage. How do we deduct that? Do we have to deduct all of that? So, for instance, someone's got £50,000 under their mattress, and they got a loan of £200,000. So, if they look at that £50,000 and that £200,000 which they have to pay in installments, do they deduct all that £50,000 from that £200,000 no zakat? No, they're not going to do that. What they do is they look at the installment they have to pay that year. So, for instance, they have to pay £6,000 that year. From the £6,000, so every month they have to pay about £500. And in that £6,000, there's interest for £1,000. At least I think so. That much they charge interest. So they deduct that £1,000 of interest. You do not deduct that. They'll pay zakat. They'll deduct £5,000. So in that 1 year, they have to pay installments £6,000. So what they do is, because in that £6,000 which they're going to pay in installment, all right, in that is £1,000 interest. So they're not going to deduct that. They're just going to deduct that what? £5,000. So they deduct the £5,000 from what the money they got under the what mattress, and the rest what they have to pay zakat on that. So that's how they do the hisab for the installment payments. Yeah. So that's one thing. If they have, now people are saying that we have properties which we rent out. So if the properties are for business, buying and selling, you buy the property on this intention that I'm going to sell it off. Yeah, fix it, sell it off. Then there's zakat on the whole property. You have to value the whole property. Yeah, but if you have a property or shop or any properties you have which you have rented out, all right, and the zakat is not on the actual property, is on the income, whatever you have under your mattress. Is that clear? Yeah. So that's a few things I have to clear. And the other thing is, who could we pay zakat to? So we are not allowed to pay to usul and furu. Usul and furu is whoever you are born from. So you cannot give zakat to your father, grandfather, great grandfather. You cannot give zakat to your mother, grandmother, great grandmother going up. So anyone you are born from, alright, you cannot give zakat to. Furu, anyone who's born from you, alright, you cannot give zakat to. You cannot give to your son, daughter, or your grandchildren, anyone them. You cannot give zakat to them either. So you cannot give zakat to someone Hashmi who is the family from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You cannot give zakat to them either. So, and the condition to give zakat is it has to be a miskin, a faqir. Innama sadaqatu lil fuqara'i wal masakin. That person has to be poor, meaning that he does not have to be the Malik, the owner of what? Nisab. If he or she has that much wealth which is free from the need, all right, and is comes the value of that wealth comes to 502 pound, all right, those you cannot give them zakat. So you have to be careful who you give them zakat. The other thing is you have to make the person who you give zakat on your zakatable wealth, that you have to make that person the owner of the zakat. So anyone who does not come, or any establishment does not come a owner of the zakat, you cannot pay zakat to. So if you give them zakat to the masjid, zakat is not done, no one comes the owner of it. But you have to make someone a owner of the zakat, then the zakat will be done. So these are some of the rule regulation I just explained, and I tried to cover whatever I could. I did not cover everything. I run out of time now, but the nisab, alright, is this year nisab. Yesterday nisab was 502 pounds. This is the dirham and all that. I wrote all that. I tried to explain myself as good as I could. Inshallah ta'ala. I hope this benefits you. Make sure you calculate every single penny of your zakat, your wealth. Now, the last thing I'd like to say, Imam Abu Dawud radiallahu ta'ala, rahmatullah alayhi, brings the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's people who do not pay zakat. Hadithin right under that, either they totally do not give a penny of the zakat. Either they give zakat, alright, but they don't give it to the right people. Just random, anything. You have to make sure who you give zakat to. They know the masails of zakat to. Don't just send it to any charity thing and then they don't even know the masail of zakat either. Sometimes they don't know, not all of them. Third category is, alright, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam means that they give zakat but they do not calculate it properly. So for instance, if you have a shop, alright, you have beans in it, you have peas in it, you have spaghettis in it, you have pasta in it, you have to count every single one of them items and then give zakat on that value. What value you use? So you got two values. You can use the high value, low value, or the middle value. Use the middle value. So you got a warehouse value. I think from the warehouse you buy 10p. You sell it for 50p. But if you want to sell all this stock you got, you sell it for 30p. 10p, 50p, 30p. So you price it at 30p, that's the middle value, and then you take the zakat from that. Also, what do you do about shares? So if you have shares in a jaiz place, not insurance company or bank. If you have an insurance company or bank, alright, that's haram. No zakat on haram money anyway. If you have your shares in a jaiz company, permissible company, then you have to value that whatever is worth it. So if you have a share, for instance, in the Royal Mail, and your share at the moment is worth it £50,000, so you take you pay zakat on £50,000, 2.5%, the 1.40. Yeah, so these are some of the rule regulation. And if you want to know more masail or you have individual masail, you can come and ask, inshallah. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
الله لا إله إلا هو